What's going on, everybody? Sorry about that. For some reason, my iPad is just want to do what it want to do. What's up, Dre? Thank you for joining me, man. Hey, mommy. What's up, Kelsey? Hey, Carrie. Sorry about that. I don't know what the problem is. My iPad was acting up, so I guess all the good news that I want to be able to get out, it don't want me. Let's see. Hey, what's up? What's up, nephew? Hey, man, I don't know what that's about. I really don't. I think that's amazing that you try to get the word out about the site and some of the stuff that I've seen this weekend, and and then all the things that happened today. What's going on, everybody? This is Credit. Gotcha. What's up, everybody? Got everybody signing in. So today I just kind of want to apologize for a little technical situation. What's up, Ant? What's up, man? Glad everybody signing in, man. Sorry about the little hiatus I had to take, a little time off, a beautiful wife. I'm sorry, but we back. That's all that matters. We back. And the sad thing about it is that everything else that could happen was going wrong with the technical side. I mean, I've been, putting out fires since this afternoon. I'm sorry. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm sorry. Good evening, everybody. My bad. So it's just been a day. And but I know when sometimes the devil's a lie. That's all I'm gonna say. But anyway, I went to a very interesting conference this weekend. And can you hear me? Can you hear me? All right. And so the conference was something that I've never heard of. It's been going on at the University of Georgia since 1986. So talking about 30-something years. And it just talk about, and all they do is talk about trucking, profitability of trucking. It's called trucking profitability. And so, in the way I stumbled on it, it came across my timeline. And a lot of times, you might plug in something and all of a sudden something will come in and you be like, wow. But let me back up right quick. I want to say this, babe. A lot has changed since the last time we was doing Transportation Tuesday. The market has changed. It's just interesting that getting on here now and talking to individuals about getting in the game of truck transportation. But anyway, it's a lot has changed.
We've been to two conferences. You went to a conference this week, and we went to the other conference in Savannah.
And so one thing I will say about anybody that wants to get in transportation, it's important that you get in the know. You have to. You got to stay in the know. You got to stay in the now, however you want to say it. It's because those conferences you learn so much at. And just like the conference we went to in Savannah, that was about the ports. The conference that I went to this weekend, it was called Trucking Profitabilities. And all they do is discuss the things that are going on in the market. And the one thing that I will take there's a lot of things I took away from the conference. But the one thing I will say is that me going into the conference, I had an idea that this is why I needed to go. Because to get on my live, it's funny how things happen all in I guess in a coincidence. And I know it ain't nothing but God leads you somewhere, because it's hard for me to get on my lives and talk to everybody about, getting into the business, and this is going to be like this, and this is what happened for me, and this is that. Well, when you go to this seminar I went to, this seminar, it literally, you're sitting out with billionaires. I ain't talking about millionaires. That's a whole nother Western. I'm shaking hands with at least, I guarantee I shook hands with at least 16 billionaires. At least 16. And so, but of those 16 billionaires, they're some of the most humble guys that you talk to. You would think they'll be, but no. All they asked me, they literally looked at my name tag and said, okay, so Crawford, where are you from? That's how the conversation went. So Crawford, where are you from? So I told him, I said, well, based out of Conyers. And it was like, okay. So what do you do in Conyers? Now, in order for you to get into this conference, you had to be an asset carrier. Now, if you go back and look at some of my lives, I've talked about what an asset carrier is. An asset carrier is a carrier that does multiple things. The multiple things I do freight hauling, yard management, and warehousing. Mm-hmm. So that makes me an asset carrier to when I'm dealing with shippers that I'm able to supply, have the capability to supply the things they need. So with all that said, I would not have been able to go into that conference if I wouldn't have made some major decisions 13 years ago. And so with that, that's why, so me going into that meeting, it gave me confirmation that I can get on here and explain things to you. And I'm hoping that as we get back into Transportation Tuesday, that it gets to be, that everybody that wants to get into business, that they really say, okay, I can, and if you're not in it, you got friends and family, send them to me. Because, the one thing that I do have, I sat down with I sat down with some godfathers in this business.
What were some of the questions they asked you?
Well, some of the questions they asked me, how did I survive? How is it out here?
Okay.
And so, and I mean, give you a perfect example. Let me give you his name, Mr. Fuller. Mr. Fuller is the CEO, was the CEO of U.S. Express. And his name is Max Fuller. He used to be the CEO. He's a co-founder of U.S. Express. And him and I had a good conversation for about 10 minutes. And we was talking about, he was asking me, he's giving me some advice about survival. Because I told him I had ICs, and I was talking about how, Andre, business owner with me and everything. And he was saying, just tell him to hang in there. Because the spot market right now, it is taking a dip to the point where not only was I talking to Mr. Fuller, which is U.S. Express that got bought out, but the person that chimed in on the conversation when I was talking to Mr. Fuller, his name was Kevin Knight. And Mr. Fuller was like, hey, Kevin, I'm talking to Mr. Crawford right now, but I'll get right back with you. And then first of all, he said, he said, Crawford, this is Mr. Knight. And he just bought my company. So so I'm talking to a man that's already a billionaire that bought, and then another man come up that bought his company for $800 million. And this dude was talking to me like, hey, no, bro, I ain't mean to cut in. I said, no, Mr. Knight, we're good. This is a billionaire telling me I'm sorry for cutting in on another billionaire and giving me some advice. You know what I'm saying? So I'm sitting here saying to myself, like, but I'm the only one in that room that looked like me. That's what I'm saying. Just think about that for a moment. And I'm just telling you that when you're trying to break in the industry, you will look around sometimes and you by yourself. So I don't play. I'm not playing with this. I want everybody to understand that, this is serious. If you want to get in this business, I can help you. People you send my way, you send somebody my way, and if you want to be in the business, or if you decide to send some family and friends my way, I don't play with this. I could not stand before those billionaires and hold my own, because the question they were asking me, like I said, Fuller asked, Mr. Knight asked me, he said, so how are you surviving? I said, well, sir, a lot of it is, prayer and a lot of changing things, because I said in '08 when the market went down, that was the Great Recession, and I almost lost my company. And I explained to him, I said, but after that, I decided to make sure I had cash and credit on hand, that, I was going to balance the two. And he was like, yeah, that's smart. So then I decided to add some more pieces to the company. And I told him, I said, I got into warehousing. And so after that, he went up on the stage and he started giving, it was him and the owner of Warner, and a lot of people that's on here, they've heard that name, Warner. The CEO of Warner was talking to me for a second, and then he went up on the stage. His name is Derek. Derek Leathers, and then the owner of a company called Heartland Transportation. His name is Mike Jordan. And these guys are just saying you got to hang in there, and they basically said that it's going to be 2025 before the transportation industry get back. So let me back up to two men we were talking about. I know I'm a little bit all over the place because there was so much I want to get to it within the 30 minutes, and I apologize because of a little technical situation. I'll make sure I have that fixed. If I got to get a new iPad, I will. But anyway, it's just the fact is that today has been a day that it seemed like it just tried to keep me from talking about Transportation Tuesday. But what I really want to do is, anybody that's, listen to the sound of my voice, and if anybody listen to this afterward, I got my confirmation this weekend that I have to do Transportation Tuesday. And also too, to give a little bit of, updates, me and my wife gonna start doing podcasts. I want to, because what's going to happen, if I can do anything to help anyone that's getting into the business, to survive. And when I tell you, I'm not saying I got the secret to the sauce, not at all. But I will say that I stood before some people that they don't even have a secret to the sauce. The only difference is, like one of the CEOs said, that most decisions that can almost cost a company, it costs a company to have issues where it can shut down. It starts at the top. It don't start at the bottom, it starts at the top. And it starts at the top by, like Mr. Derek said, being a CEO that leads his company, being able to have, but also be able to, provide leadership and make sure everybody's held accountable. And so, with him saying that, and then also them basically saying that the freight is drying up for them too. So you would think that because they're big and all that they got all the answers.
What was the amount of some of the trucks that they own?
Let me look in this book and I'll tell you straight up how many Mr. Knight owned. Okay. I'll give you a perfect example. His name is Sam Addison. I met him. His company's called Bay Transportation. He has 600 trucks, 1,200 trailers. I had good conversations with him. I'm trying to find Mr. Knight. Let me tell you exactly how many Mr. Knight has. And I must say, Knight is the biggest company. Knight Transportation is the biggest company. I'm just trying to see if I can find Mr. Knight right quick. Give me 1 second. I'm sorry. Apologize. Because you asked me a good question to me. I want to be able to answer you a specific amount. Okay. So let me tell you. Yeah, okay. All right. His name is Kevin Knight. He's the owner of Knight Swift Transportation. Okay. he has 23,000 trucks, 77,000 trailers.
Mm-hmm. Uh-huh.
That's the big dog. And I'm sitting having a conversation with him, and then the owner of Warner, they got 8,100 trucks, 24,500 trailers. I'm trying to see.
And they got trucks.
And yeah,
they got trucks sitting.
Got some trucks sitting. I talked with Adam Miller. He's the president of Knight Swift. The conversation me and him had was about. He told me, he said, Crawford, I will tell you this. This is the advice I'll give you when you're dealing with your team. Like he said, he was like, make sure. He said, because they were asking him. They asked him. They say, so ask him about his mission statement. So he said, with his mission statement, he said that I couldn't tell you what our mission statement is right now off the top of my head. And then he said, but that's okay, but I tell you I tell you, I treat people the way they want to be treated, and that's he said every CEO should be able to lead and have a conversation with their team and let them know it's not about that mission statement. It's about me treating you as a human being. You see what I'm saying? And at the same time, not allowing that title to go to my head. And this is the CEO of that company that I just said got 23,000 trucks. I was trying to find Mr. I was trying to find Mr. Max. He's the one that I got. Oh yeah, that's why I didn't want to use my phone.
There you go.
But I was forced to. I was trying to see if I could find Mr. Max Fuller. That's it. His last name is Fuller. I was trying to see if I could find all his trucks. It's not on here. Oh yeah. Okay. And Mr. Fuller. So I'm going to say how many trucks there's total now. So if you take 6,000 trucks, 15,000 trailers, and you add that to Mr. Kevin Knight. Mr. Kevin Knight, I'm trying to get Knight tonight. That man has 30,000 trailers. I'm sorry, 30,000 tractors. He has 30,000 tractors and almost 80-something thousand trailers. These dudes are billionaires, man. All this money, and I'm sitting there talking to them, and I'm not saying it to be, I'm not saying it to what's going on, man? And I'm not saying it to, I'm just trying to tell everybody, if you want to get in this business, I'm telling you, I really, I hate to say it, I was almost like Jackie Robinson up in there, buddy, because there was nobody that looked like me, period. And but the thing about it, the way they embraced, it was like, okay, we've been waiting on you.
So what did they say during the conference that you should expect down the line?
Be honest.
In transportation.
Be honest with everybody.
No. What did they say to expect in the industry
about how bad it is? It's bad.
How bad is it? Like, be more specific.
Okay, there's two markets out here. You got contract market, and you got a spot market.
Okay.
And you remember that data I was showing you? I sent you. Okay. The contract, if you got a contract, it did kind of go down for a little bit. It went down, it went down a lot, but it's really kind of still sustaining, because most people that have contracts, the only thing they're doing is they're not asking for increases. So, so it's kind of like, but then number two, the spot market is so dead that even them, it's like they don't understand how anybody gonna survive the next 2 to 5 months.
And
The spot
Explain
market
what
is
the
when you go
spot
on load
market is.
boards, or when the customer, you go on load boards, because a lot of people putting things on load boards. A lot of guys run off those load boards, and what happens is in the spot market, you have brokers that put those loads there. See, when you do your contract freight, you negotiate directly with the shipper because you bid it that way.
Right.
So that's going to stay whatever time you bid it, right? So they're going to honor that. Let's say you have a 3-year bid or a 5-year bid. Okay, then your bid is still standing in the same place. The difference is did everything else catch up with it, like fuel costs and inflation and all that. You see what I'm saying?
So your profit on your bid is less and less.
It cuts into inflation and fuel cost cuts into your
inflation is cutting into
it's cutting a little bit into your
yeah.
So that's your contract. When you get into the spot market, Dre said it too. Like he said, when he first got in, you can get about $3 a mile. But that's what I was about to say about the spot market. Spot market is about to go down, and I was telling Dre, like Dre has $1.50, but they're telling me at that conference, they basically saying that spot market will get somewhere down to $1.30. Now you look at the difference between $1.30 and $3 a mile. Now I'm not. The thing about it is, I'm not talking to people that. This ain't no analysts. These are dudes that this is what they do. These are the ones that sit down like Warner. Derek. I'm gonna say Derek because he's younger than me. I'm gonna say, well, now he might be about my age. But anyway, I'm sitting there talking to him, and then he got on the panel. But when I was talking to him, it really was about Warner. I was asking a little bit more about do they broker freight, things to minority companies and stuff. He said, he basically said, that's something we would like to do, but right now with the market being the way it is, he basically saying, hell, y'all might be on y'all own too. You understand what I'm saying? And so he basically, but then he got up there, he basically said it's gonna get better. He said, but it gotta hit the bottom. The problem is, what is the bottom? They don't even know. That's what I'm saying. They don't even know what the bottom is. So that's what. So me coming back and have a conversation with with Dre, even with Anton, individuals that is already in it or thinking about getting in it. I have to be honest with them that I heard it. It's almost like if somebody said, okay, when Moses went to the top of the mountain, he came back great. He was like, hey man, I'm gonna give y'all the word for the day. The word is you're gonna have to ride this out. But Mr. Knight said something that I said I was gonna do my research on, so I have it for next Transportation Tuesday next week. I want to go back and I've been, man, you've heard me say this before, that I think that the economy is gonna get somewhere down in the mud of where between where Carter and Ronald Reagan was. But of course, I was in middle school, and so. Hey, Aisha, how you doing?
Hey,
and so what happened is when it getting into the mud of that, they're basically saying that Mr. Knight said that he remembers when they first started Knight Trucking, because he's out of Utah. He was based out of Utah as far as his family. He moved out of Utah to Arizona.
Right.
So Knight Swift is based out of Arizona. The point is that he said that he remembered writing checks to some drivers and telling them, hey, please, hey, I got your check for you. And he said, but don't cash it to Friday. Man, he was like, one dude said, man, and he basically told Knight, hey, man, you don't get my money, I'm going to kill you, man.
So that was back when
deregulation.
That was back
this was like,
when a previous recession
it was what they call
in the trucking industry.
It's what you call the oh God, what you call it? It's called the it was before deregulation, before they had regulations. See now you got regulations.
Okay.
And I'm sorry, let me say it was deregulation, before they deregulated the trucking industry. At one time it used to be Teamsters and all that. It was, you really can't get into business. And this is when trucking, you go back to like 78, 79, 80, 81, they were saying that because remember now back then they weren't shipping overseas. Wasn't no going overseas. I think Japan was like one of the first or something like that when they started going to Japan and stuff like that. But Jimmy Carter started shipping stuff overseas. So I'm just going to try to do a little bit more of my research. The point is that, and the reason why everything is happening the way it's happening is because guess what? We're doing so much more on shore. So that's causing the rates, that's causing inflation and you know, now and everything higher now because you're doing more stuff on shore instead of doing so much with China. Nothing. They're still doing business with China, but it's kind of shrunk a little bit. Well, a lot. Let me say that. And so you got to find other areas to ship to. So that's why, and like a lot of these, so you know, the trucking industry doesn't go. You know, they don't float on water, so, you know, and so that's where a lot of things like containers and things like that, even that has slowed down. But next week, I'm going to just make sure that I have a lot more statistics and, you know, especially with the data I received from the gentleman that gave me that data.
The crazy part is the information that you received at this conference lines up with the information with the port information that from the conference we went to in Savannah. So the same information, they said the recession is coming, just get ready for it. And then the conference you just came from said the same thing.
And these are the big guys. Like, matter of fact, his name is Dan. Dan is he's the ATA, which is American Trucking Associate President. He was there. Even he said that he's fighting to you know, he's fighting for all of us. He said if you're not a part of American Transportation Trucking Association, you need to be about, and I do. I, you know, and the thing about it, they talked about the things that they, you know, are for. So it's not about, you know, Democrat or Republican. They just about, you know, fairness. You know what I mean? The thing, and also too, what I think I took away from it is the fact is that, you know, remember I told you, I said, you know, sometimes when you're trying to, let me say it like this. Anytime you're trying to gain knowledge, I don't think there's anything comfortable about trying to gain the unknown. The unknown is always is uncomfortable. It's never comfortable about the unknown. So when you go to an unknown and you know, type of event, because even the one we went to in Savannah, remember, it was like pepper, a little bit of sprinkles. You know what I mean? So, but this one right here, it was a dot. It's like one dot. Doop, that was it. I was like, almost like being like, it's almost like being like Jackie Robinson, you know what I'm saying? Hank Aaron up in that mug. Like, but you know, I had to hit it out the park. But they embraced me. You know what I mean? It was real. It was all love. And that was what I'm saying. So I made a lot of connection with them. I got emails. I got a couple of them got on my LinkedIn page, which I think is garbage. I got to fix my LinkedIn page. It's okay. It's not the greatest, but it also told me, well, you're right, but it ain't got my pictures on there like theirs. I'm like, these dudes got these, you know. And then, hey, I wore the heck out that blazer. Man, the heck out that blazer, man. I'm talking about even go to the bathroom. I felt like I was at the Masters or something. You know, they be wearing them green jackets. Man, I'm in that mug. But it was funny because I'm like, I kind of want to raise my hand like I'm an usher. When I had to go through the aisle, I was like, I had to go to the bathroom. I was like, I want to raise my hand. I had to put my hand down. I realized, well, you ain't in church, man. You know what I'm saying? Hey, but
you so silly.
No.
So let me ask you this. Did they give you any advice? Like, did they say anything about, well, I know their companies and their CEO, a lot of people there were employees of these companies. Did they provide any advice on how to stay afloat? Like, for instance, we're a 3PL. So, and then you've already put some systems in place. So we can
Yeah.
weather storms, right? So if long as we follow our blueprint that you put in place to weather the storm, did they have any other advice outside of what you've already put
Um,
in place?
Most of them said um, okay, the one thing about it, when I talked to them individually, they asked me,
Mm-hmm.
so Crawford, tell me a little bit about you. Because they want to know, how did you get here?
Right.
No, not, you know what I'm saying? I guess, yeah, like, where you come from,
Where
man? You
you
know,
come
like,
from?
you know, because because in this book that they gave us, I'll be in it next year, but because I
Right.
was like,
Right.
if somebody said that there's 70 people at the Masters as far as players that make the cut, right? I was number 70. You understand what I'm
Yeah.
saying? I was like, I got the last room in the
Yeah.
hotel. Like, so that's why I know God don't make mistakes. He's like, okay, you got to be there. So I'm going to give you this last room, but listen, because you know what it costs.
Right. Right.
Exactly. So that's why they
Right.
looking like,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
you know, you here for a reason. So like, so anyway, so that's why I said, I'm like, all right, this is amazing. And so, but the stuff that they gave, when they was talking to me, I was able to explain to them that I'm no spring chicken. You dig what I'm saying? So I let them know that
Mm-hmm.
I got 19 years in this game. This is me talking to a billionaire.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so Crawford, tell me about you. And I said,
Yeah.
okay, yeah, we started back in 04. I remember in 08, I almost lost the company because they shrunk my line of credit, and I didn't have that much cash on hand at the time because I was using cash to afloat. So then I said, then I knew that next time it's okay. I'm gonna make sure that I have cash and credit, and so that's what we're doing now. You know what I'm saying? And so I explained to them
Okay.
what I've done
Okay.
to weather the storm, and then I said in
Right.
2009, I said I also changed up and started doing yard management, explaining to them about that. So I started doing that, and they said, "Okay, what you mean by yard management?" I said, "I got into yard hustling," and exactly, I said, so
Got your
then our
contract.
contract
Mm-hmm.
spilled into other things, and then I said, then I happened to do. Then I told them we had to get into warehousing, and I said that's me as an asset carrier. That's the 3PL. So anyway, with all that said, that's what I told them when I had the conversation with them, because they asked me, they wanted to know, okay, like, it just literally just what it was. It was like, okay, we want to know, and because the fact is, you in this room, yeah,
How you
and you're not
got here?
scared to have a
Mm-hmm.
conversation with any of us, and I'm like, because I got 19 years in this, 27 years of driving, so
Mm-hmm.
I ain't no, I ain't no, round the corner type of cat. You know what I'm saying? I ain't just getting this, but with all that said, that still doesn't mean that
That we don't
exactly
have the
that man
same
just got
problems. Y'all just
the
got
one
more
thing me and that man
employees and
definitely
more
got
trucks. Yeah.
them billionaires got in common. They got one truck and one employee. They just got more trucks and more employees than me. But it starts with at least one of each.
Right.
You understand? And trailer. And
Yeah.
Crawford owns each one of
Right.
them. And the
Right.
thing
Right.
about
Right.
them too, they are asset
Yeah.
carriers. So it's just the only difference
Yeah.
is I'm the lowest man on the totem pole. That's cool. But at the end of the day,
Right.
if I'm
Yeah.
gonna carry this minority mantle, I need everybody to understand that at the end of the day, if you're gonna be in here with these trucks, because like Mr. Knight said, he said, I'm telling you right now, if you got a tractor trailer and you got a note on it, he's like, man, you might as well just you got a problem. He said, you want to get that note down or don't have a note at all. That's the best. That's
Yeah.
one advice I
Yeah.
give. You got a truck, don't have no note on it. You know what I'm saying? This is a man that got 30,000 trucks. So that tells you how much of money he got.
Right.
30,000 trucks.
Right.
Yeah, and he's talking about
With no
they
note.
turn their trucks in at 400,000 miles. So they only keep their trucks. Yeah, they only keep their trucks.
What?
Shit, they truck. Their trucks do 100,000 miles a year. They want to keep that trucks maybe 2-3 years. They buy everything off the brand new. Exactly. So ain't no playing with them. That's why I tell people like, nah, you know, if you come to me and talk to me about some business, see, the thing about it, I do have these guys emails and, you know, this information. I'm like, hey, you know, I made contacts with these guys. So trust and believe me, if I need some information, I'm gonna go to LinkedIn and say, hey, do you remember me? I'm Crawford. You know, I was at the you know, trucking profitability conference. You know, just remember I talked to you about just we out of Conyers. See, that's what I can do now. But at the same time, it's like Mr. Knight said, he's like, man, I'm not the CEO, I'm just a chairman now. And because he just bought, it's 4 of them now, 4 companies. So it's like all of them are chairmen out of that. They're like, you might talk about holding companies. Yeah. The holding company is called Knight's Holding. Yeah. And it has the holding of all those companies under it. So yeah. So I mean, you know, I tell anybody, you're gonna be in business, whether it's transportation or let me tell you, there's another thing that I said. I've been like this is the one thing I take away from these 3 guys. The owner of Hart, which his name is Mike, Jordan, and Derek Leather and Kevin Knight. Derek Leather said his own mouth. He said next week I'm meeting with Secretary of Treasury Buttigieg. He said I have to let him know because he said he graduated from Princeton. He said I don't understand why they're doing it, and anybody that's on here you can look it up, see what's going on in California. They having electric issues out there. AC, Teslas, they're telling you not to. You can go look it up, and they're having issues out there. But anyway, California drives the narrative on a lot of things that go on in America. So they're wanting to get to zero emissions by 2035. So think about it for a moment. Like, there's not gonna be any gas if they have it their way. Ain't gonna be no gasoline, no diesel. California in 10 years, 11 years time.
Wow.
I'm telling you, like they were telling me, they was like, hey, this is what they're pushing. Like, they don't want nothing but electric. That's it. Everything electric.
Everything.
But like, and they're trying to do it with the tractors, but like Mr. Fisher said, Mr. Leather said, he said, so where's the infrastructure? Like, you see, you're not just plugging up. So you're not gonna be plugging up just cars. You're not gonna be just plugging up motorcycles. He's talking about plugging up a tractor trailer. You understand? And these battery.
Yeah, because Elon Musk made
but the truck can't do nothing but 150 miles. Where the hell you gonna go before you got to charge it up again? And that's what they're saying. So how the average trailer goes, Kelsey said well, they talking about hydro plant power too, Kelsey, but the problem is you gotta have the infrastructure. Nephew, they don't have it. So you can't start something for 10 years and hell, you already done started. You only got 9 left. It ain't gonna work. It's like it takes almost. They've been working on. I put it like this. They've been working on the I think the Spaghetti Junction Bridge took them like almost 10 years to build. The Spaghetti Junction Bridge, the one that's up there in Doraville. That bridge, it took a long time. It took them at least 10 years to build 400. So you're talking about, but we just talking about concrete. But when you talking about electricity going through a line, are you crazy? Where you gonna get it from? This is what I'm saying. And you talking about doing it with a tractor trailer. And those tractor trailers, the batteries, each battery, I think he said the batteries down there weigh, I want to say between 5,000 and 8,000 pounds. And I think he got 4.
The battery for the truck?
I think it's either 1. It's either 1 or 2 batteries.
Wow.
But I'll do my homework on it. But the batteries, they're heavy. But but the thing about it, like, his name is Adam. Adam's the chief financial officer and the president of Knight. He said he got. Now this is the same guy. He's the CFO though, up under Mr. Knight. They got 30,000 trucks. Okay, so let's just do that for a moment. All right, 30,000 trucks. In this particular hub that they're doing the practice, he said they got 400 trucks there, right? Hear me out. 400 trucks. This is in California. 20 of the trucks, they went electric just to see how it works. He's like, man, they're having a hard time just getting 20 working. You see how, you know how far you got to go to get a 30,000 and you at 20? You see what I'm saying? This is not going to work. But hey, I'm open to it. So what I'm saying, if I tell someone that wants to get in this business, get your money up, man, because you're going to need an electric vehicle, bro. And you better hope that they go electric and hydrogen. You better hope that they go that route. And to me, that's why I was telling you that I'd rather we're going to get electric vehicle, go hybrid / electric, because it's just like I was telling when I was talking to one of the other business owners, and I said, we act like we following behind somebody. We the first to do this. I said, let me ask you a question. Do you think they only blew up one rocket trying to get to the moon, or did they blow up many rockets to get to the moon? Because last I checked, they had to bring in these women to, because Neil Armstrong was like, I ain't trying to die today. But they had them blew up so many rockets. You understand I'm going there, right? Yeah. So they just, in my fact, Elon Musk just blew up a rocket last week that cost about $100 million or something, whatever it was. So the point I'm trying to get at, we got to step back and just, because each one of the CEOs, you know, the one thing they said, they like, look, when we get through talking to the Secretary of Treasury, we're going to let him know, we want to see y'all take the lead in this. And then we'll co-sign on it. Because what you're trying to do is get the private sector to do something. They just don't have the funding for it. The only people that have that kind of money is the government.
Well, Mr. Kemp did show up at the conference we was at. So
and you know why Mr. Kemp is still in there? Like I said, him and Mr. Obama got together and widened that canal, the very canal that we were sitting in a hotel watching them big old ships go through. Him and
I think exactly.
And guess who it was?
Every
it was
30
President
minutes.
Obama and Governor Kemp. They got together with all the partisan to the side and said, widen that canal, and look what happened. And raise that damn bridge.
And raise that damn bridge.
We still ain't high enough. So all I'm saying. Yep. So yeah. So when I'm sitting down in transportation talking to these guys, and a lot of, I mean, I'm sitting here talking to guys from Canada. The guys from Canada, they were so funny. I asked them, they probably look at me like, this dude right here got some stories to ask. I mean, some questions to ask. I said, look at man. I said, I got myself to give me a Corona. So I got talking to them, chopping it up. They sit here laughing with me. They accent straight. I mean, Canadian, that strong Canadian accent. So I said, well, let me ask you a question. I said, so how's Canada's, economy? Is it kind of going in the same direction as America right now? Or about the same? He said, we're getting there. He said, that's why we're down here. And I said, so what's the equivalent in Canada to our California? And they told me, he said EB something, EBS or whatever it was, but it's the west coast of Canada. And I'm saying to myself, damn, I ain't know y'all even had a west coast. Okay. You know what I'm saying? I ain't never looked at that. Like, okay, they got a west side of Canada. But I'm chopping over these cats. And they like, I said, so they got to talk about the prime minister and different things like that. And they was like, they was like, man, we come there. And he's like, man, y'all funny, man. And he said, but, we had to come down because at the end of the day, America controls a lot of that stuff and the directions. And he said they're trying to force things on, you know, on them too, as far as these EVs. He's like, man, he's in the west coast of Canada thinking about that too. I said, but how y'all gonna be able to do that? Because as cold as it is, the batteries ain't gonna do well. And that's another thing. You go to New York, you know damn well the battery ain't gonna do good. It's too damn cold. Detroit. You see what I'm saying? Canada. Those batteries don't do well in
Chicago,
cold.
Michigan.
You know what I'm saying? So you mean to tell me ain't nobody, so that's why I told the person, I said, man, you gonna drive your Tesla to New York. Hell, you better drive it up there during the summer. Cause you better not drive during the damn winter, cause it's not gonna crank up. I don't care how much of a charge, it's not gonna hold a charge. You understand what I'm saying? So those are the things that, so when I went to this conference, you know, and these are the things, like I said, that's why I'm brought Transportation Tuesday back. I know we're gonna get ready to close out in 3 minutes. But yeah, I'm back, man. I'm back. I gotta do it, man. And because all I want to do is inform people on just how and the bacon. And I'm just being honest with you. And when I say bread and bacon, I mean we bringing it to your grocery store and you gotta go get it. And that's what I'm saying. And right now we struggling. And I heard from the big dogs, and they said that we got to, because what's gonna happen is, you know, they're gonna end up doing this. This is another thing you said. Ask me about a takeaway. If you keep going down to these numbers right here, eventually you're gonna hit that bottom. But the transportation companies gonna pass it on to the customer. So you will see, you know, bacon, eggs, and cheese go up. And the middle class got to go in there and ask. Because the one thing they said, nothing against anybody, but, you know, when you rich, you can be like, okay, I can maintain. You know, I ain't even got to really do nothing. I already got mine. You know, I can, you know, I got plenty of refrigerators. And, you know what I'm saying? I can, you know, I got houses and this and the third. So I don't have to spend no money. I'm good. Then you go to the lower class, you know, they're really gonna have somewhat of subsidies from the government and different things. They, you know, get back income taxes, you know, things like that. They get back a little bit of subsidy. But you get in that middle where we at, that middle, it's starting to just like this. You know what I'm saying? And they literally said that. It was like, well, you know, and that's who right now is, but that's your biggest voting block. And they got to start thinking about that stuff when they start seeing prices rise on things. And then, you know, and they talked about construction. They said construction is, you know, taking hits right now. And you're going to start seeing houses, they're not going to have the material to build. So, you know, with all that said, you know, man, it's been a great, you know, it was great, you know, but I will be on here next Tuesday. And, you know, me and you be on here next Tuesday, being able to, you know, we don't did the research and, you know, I mean, we don't did, you know, analyze everything that we've got in to be able to share with everybody. And also too, got that podcast coming soon. Let everybody know that. You got anything you want to share with them, baby?
Crawford Naturals men's line still live on my website. www.crawfordnaturals.com.
Please pick up some of that wonderful product, because I had to, you know, I traveled with it. I even cut my beard, but I'm trying to let it come back in. It's a little hot right now, but I still use it on there. And
you cut your beard, and our son beard grew in fully.
Well, we got 2 sons. Which one?
So.
All right, there you go.
TJ, I'm sorry. TJ's beard grew in fully. So, and also too, I keep getting questions about women's products. So I'll make a few products. I'll post it on my other Instagram page so the ladies can buy some stuff as well. And that'll go live probably in the next couple months.
That podcast is gonna be everything, guys. We're gonna be able to talk about a lot of things. But I do want to say this, Kelsey. To, you know, the one thing they did talk about seeing young men getting in is diesel mechanics. You know, and learn this new technology as far as how they're gonna deal with these batteries and things and the hydrogen. So anyway, I just want to touch on that. So when I talk about transportation, I'm gonna be talking about anything that got something to do with transportation. And the one thing about the profitability is to be able to, when you tell somebody that they want to talk to me or come on the lives, this is what we're gonna get away from free. I'm always gonna give away free information on Transportation Tuesday. So when I get on here, that's gonna be my gift, and that's how it's gonna be. And me and my wife's gonna give away information on how to start your trucking company, run your trucking company, and to grow your trucking company. And I know you might seem like you might not grow it in this environment, but you can. You can still grow it. It might just be like Mr. Knight said, you might just be improving on little things like taking care of infrastructure of your business and getting it ready, because what Derek, Mr. Knight, and Mr. Gurdon said is that this too shall pass. And if you believe in that word, that's what the Bible definitely said. This too shall pass. So anyway,
Yeah.
Just got to weather the storm.
Yeah.
So anyway, man,
everybody,
man, I sure appreciate you, man. I love you, man. Glad you're with me. I can't do this without you. We're gonna keep grinding. We're gonna do what we gotta do. And hey, man, hey, another day above ground is a good day, and I'll see y'all next Tuesday. All right, man. Peace. Talk to everybody. Peace. Thank y'all.